Powered by Riverside.
It's the Dynasty front office, and we are building you championships one trade at a time. I'm your host, Jesse Schneeman, and I'm here with the two best friends anyone has ever had. Starting with the auspicious Austin Bell. How you doing tonight, Austin?
I'm excellent, Jesse. How are you?
Oh, same. Excellent. I love that answer.
Yeah.
Really good. Really good. Fresh off a vacation, so I hear. How was it?
That's right. It was great, man. I haven't been in years, so it was nice to get away, kind of refresh, reset. Though I will say it made this work week absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot what it was like not to be at work for most of a week. But yeah, man, it's good. Tomorrow's Friday. Ready to go. I missed y'all last week, so
Yeah.
ready to go. Get back in it.
Holiday weekend coming up, so 3-day weekend. That's nice.
Yeah.
So walk me through a typical day at the beach for Austin. What do you like to do? Do you like jump in there and body surf? Do you like get in the water a lot, or you just stay on the beach, play some volleyball?
A little bit of both. I don't like laying there and tanning.
Okay.
That is not something I get so bored.
It's pretty boring.
Yeah, just within 10 minutes, I got to do something. So yeah, let me get in the water, run around. We had the dogs, so take the dogs for a long walk down the beach. Though one was terrified of the water. Love the sand and finding stuff in the sand, but not the water. Yeah, it was good, man. It was a really good time to get away.
Awesome.
Ready to go again, but probably won't be anytime soon.
My two favorite beach activities are bocce. Bocce ball is really fun on the beach, and spike ball.
Ooh, I hadn't played that in forever.
Spike ball is a lot of fun. If you get
what's bocce?
Bocce is, how do I explain it? It's similar to horseshoes, or do you not know what bocce ball is, really? Okay.
No, I have no idea.
It's an old game. It's been around forever.
Of course it is.
So you have a small ball, throw that, and then everyone's got two larger balls, and you're trying to closest to the small ball.
Gotcha.
I see why it's your favorite game.
Hey, it's a family show. And
Is that what they play at retirement homes? Is that why this is your favorite game?
Like that.
That's pickleball.
No, they play that. That's tough competitive nowadays.
Pickleball's hardcore.
Uh-huh. All right, and my main man Chad Mendoza. How you doing tonight, Chad?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm ready to go. Had an exhausting day. Worked on a tractor for a bit. I haven't.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was absolutely awful. So.
Oh yeah, that would make me want to punch somebody.
Yeah, should probably hire somebody to fix that.
You absolutely should.
Cheap. Yeah.
I'm the first one to hire somebody to do stuff like that, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's why Chad makes the big bucks.
That's right. You don't get rich by spending money.
I'm not rich, but okay.
I hear you.
I'll let you know when that works out for me.
Although I am going to try my hand at some plumbing this weekend. It's really just the faucet in the bathroom is leaking, like by the handles. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna. I think it's just a worn out gasket. If I can't do that, yeah, exactly. My wife has zero faith in me. She has a plumber's number on standby for when I fail.
Just go in the bathroom before you put on YouTube, so she doesn't know, and you can come out and be like, "Look, I told you I'd figure it out."
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, make sure you just tighten it, and get it nice and snug, and then one more until it pops.
Yeah,
when it pops, that is perfect. That's exactly where you want it.
Yeah.
Actually, you don't even need a gasket. Just take off the old one and then just tighten it as tight as you can.
Get it back on.
Yeah. Metal to metal contact is always a better seal.
Probably the little dry pieces. What's doing it? Like everything right. Okay.
Yeah, it's the hard gasket that's creating the gap.
Should I turn the water off or on harder?
Oh, you just got to go full blast off the rip.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Speaking of that, yesterday I was tightening a customer came by for us to look at a set of wheels, and I was like, "Hey man, you have on the wrong kind of lug nuts. I'm not sure, I'm not necessarily sure how safe these are. He's like, oh, well, can you tighten them for me to make sure they're good? And I was like, yeah, you're going to want to change them. I get the second last one. I do my little push down with the torque wrench and snap right off. And I was like, hey, well, you're going to need some new lug nuts, buddy.
If there's like one thing to skimp out on for cost, like just buy new lug nuts, man. It's like the cheapest thing on your car.
Yeah, make sure your wheels are on there.
Yeah, those are pretty important. It gets really scary when that one starts to come off.
Oof. All right, Chad, Austin.
Yes, sir.
Tell us where they can find us when we're not podcasting. Which, by the way, I'm sorry, before you do that, just a heads up, little housekeeping. This is our last episode of the season, folks. This is going to be our rookie mock draft. But we'll be back end of July with season new.
End of June, right?
July.
We'll be back. We'll be back. How about that? We'll back.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll let you know.
But we'll have positional rankings and training camp stuff, and we'll just rock and roll from there.
Yeah, we're taking off when the NFL is taking off.
Yeah, exactly.
Not enough news to keep going. But yeah, so you can find us at YouTube and Facebook, Dynasty Front Office, Twitter, X at Front Office FF. And as always, the Discord link is in the description. Make sure you join. It's still been quite active, even though the NFL is slowing down. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're still going to be arguing in Discord.
Absolutely, every day.
Yeah, we're actually already starting to argue about Jeremiah Smith, which is fun. That's in our chat, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll bring that to just Discord. All right, guys. Rookie mock draft. Oh, yeah,
let's do it.
2026 rookie mock draft. This is our last mock draft of the season. So this is what we really think. This is what we've done in our drafts. This is pretty neutral, regardless of team build and, what you've done in other drafts as far as player share and stuff like that.
Yeah, so just in a vacuum, 12-team, super flex, 0.5 premium.
Right on.
That said, I'm first overall, and I'm going to make the obvious pick and take Jeremiah Love. There's not a scenario for me that he doesn't go one. So it's easy plug and play.
Seen it. I haven't seen anybody but him go one. And I mean, I've seen some trades, but that's about it.
Yeah, even in the 12-team 2 QB leagues I'm in, he still went one.
Mm-hmm.
Chad, you're up at 2 if you don't have anything else. I know you're probably the biggest Love guy in here. Anything else you want to add before we move to 2?
No, easy pick, good pick. I'm going to go with Carnell Tate.
Sell me on why.
Yeah, for me, there's I think it's going to be a little bit till we see Fernando Mendoza, probably at least halfway through the season. Not necessarily a bad thing, right? But it's one of those things where Carnell Tate's just a player I think is going to be replacing a lot of not replacing a lot of targets. He's going to be getting a lot of targets that just weren't assigned there in Tennessee. I really think Brian Daboll is going to break that offense wide open, let Cam Ward throw the ball about. He typically likes to have a receiver that gets hyper targeted. The draft capital tells me that's going to be Carnell Tate, and I think he's one of the guys that could see the earliest value bump in the rookie class.
I've seen this happen in about 30% of the drafts I'm in. So
I think it's maybe even higher for me. I was going to say 50 or 60%. I actually think this is consensus currently.
Wow.
I was here first.
You were. You did say that pre-draft. So yeah, I'm good with either way, 2 or 3. I'm assuming the person Jesse's going to take it 3. One thing I just looked at Jesse. You're going to take Mendoza, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and add that. I want to kind of move to him with this. I saw that they have a week 13 bye, which is quite unfortunate for him for the fantasy production this year. I was kind of hoping to see like a week 5 to 7 bye. That way we would, have a perfect avenue for him to, here he goes. So it looks like if he doesn't start week 1, they're just going to have to just kind of put him in.
That's fine. I'm fine if he sits here, to be honest with you.
Not at 103, I'm not, to be honest with you. Because I could have moved back to 7 or 8 and gotten possibly a 27 first.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's going to become more valuable than Fernando Mendoza for that said an entire year. So I I would prefer him highly to play this year, even if it's not great.
He'll play it. He will play at some point. It might not be until late in the year like that. We'll see.
If he doesn't play till next year, I think that kind of opens the door for like the conversation of is it even better to trade back to Ty Simpson, get the enormous amount of draft capital that you're going to get on top of it, and just take him if you're gonna have a quarterback sitting here anyways.
Well, it does look like you're gonna have to wait 2 years on Ty.
Yeah, I think that's what the Rams hope at least. We're saying this because, in case you didn't see, Stafford got a 1-year, $55 million extension. So he's basically tied up. I think it's 2 for $90 guaranteed, something like that. So assuming health, he's there for 2 years.
Yeah, assuming health is a big thing, though, because if you don't forget, last offseason, there were all these question marks about his back. And like 2024, he was injured the whole year. He's playing hurt with that back the whole year. So it's definitely a huge possibility that Simpson gets in sooner. But if you're drafting him, I know we're getting ahead of ourselves, but just keep in mind that you're doing that with 28 in mind.
Okay. Yeah. So either of y'all, is there anyone you thought about taking at 3, or is Mendoza the pick, even everything we've discussed?
No, I still would take him at 102, actually.
Chad?
Yeah, I think for me, he's a clear 103.
Okay, yeah, same here. Just curious.
There was a situation where I almost took Tate over him because I thought I needed everything, so I just took the quarterback. But yeah, I did have a really clear need for Tate, but I ended up taking a quarterback. It's actually. Yeah, it's 2 super flex and like 9 or 10 flex. It's a really hard league.
Oh, yeah. I hate that league. I was so happy to leave that league.
Mike Casper runs that league. Shout out.
That was like the 3rd league ever I joined. And I was like, oh, man, this is going to be awesome. And I hated it from the first season in. All right, next, Doug, 104. I'm going to take Mekhi Lemon. I think him and Tyson. I think him and Tyson have similar outlooks for me going forward. Both going to be most likely slotted as wide receiver 2s on their offense. And I'm sorry, but I believe in Jalen Hurts more than Tyler Shuck. It may be a hot take, and maybe at the end of this year I look dumb saying that, but as of now, and I also think Lemon's a better player by a small margin over Tyson. So I'm going to take the guy I believe in more in the offense that I hope is better.
This is an Eagles podcast.
This is not.
It sounded like it was for a minute there.
I'm comparing him to Tyler Shuck. Come on now.
So many times. Oh, wow. So much. Just so much mud being slung. I was hoping this would happen numerous times in drafts so that Tyson would fall to me at 105, and it just really didn't. So
I've never seen Lemon go at 104, but I'm not arguing with it. That's for sure.
Either one could be right.
It's definitely a coin toss.
I definitely have Tyson over Lemon, but it's not by much.
Yeah,
I think they both could be pretty high end wide receiver 1s at their ceiling.
Yeah, I don't have that many shares of each, but of either of them rather. But if I did have more than one share of one and none of the other, I'd have no problem taking Lemon at 104.
Right on.
Yeah, they're in the same tier for me. It's absolutely flippable. I wouldn't have an issue either way.
Now, what could happen to mess that up for Lemon for this year is pending the A.J. Brown situation. So,
A.J. Brown didn't go to Jalen Hurts didn't go to A.J. Brown's wedding. This is over. He's out of Philly.
I understand.
That's over.
I understand that. But, the latest report I heard was for BTJ and a second.
So that was this one thing. I spent 30 minutes to an hour this morning trying to find someone else post that. So I think that was just you dreaming, Jesse.
It came from a satire account too.
Okay. It was on the Reception Perception podcast today.
Oh, so they got caught too. Look at us.
Matt Harmon. He never shouts us out, so I guess we should stop shouting him out. But what I'm saying is, if another receiver comes back in that trade that's good, it could really hurt Lemon's value.
Yeah,
Maybe.
It just
there's an
opened
avenue
my-
for it, sure.
It just opened my mind to that possibility. And there's also this weird chance that it just lingers. And A.J. Brown is there way longer than we want him to be, and it gets uncomfortable.
I mean, that doesn't hurt Lemon as long as he's not playing week 1.
Mm-hmm.
That hurts
I
A.J.
don't-
Brown going into this year.
I don't see true. I don't see an avenue where he could possibly be on the field for the Eagles week 1.
Yeah, I mean, the
If he's
quarterback
on the
skipping
roster.
out a wedding is that was the final straw for me. That
I hadn't even heard that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he went to the Met Gala instead.
Oof. Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that put the final nail in the coffin, in my opinion. All right, Chad, 105. This is plug and play for you, or are you gonna be spicy again?
I mean, it is plug and play. It's Jadarian Price.
Yikes.
Yeah, I can't do it.
No, me neither.
Sell me on why I should do it, Chad.
I mean, the same reason I'm taking Carnell Tate at 102. It's the two players that have the easiest pathway to fantasy relevancy and value gain is Carnell Tate and Jadarian Price, in my opinion. So I'm going to go those two in a relatively weak class. Move off of some shares and hold on to a couple.
Yeah, I get your argument. I can't even really say it's a bad argument because I do think that those two players could absolutely see, pretty insane value spikes year 1. But also, I personally don't think Price is that talented. So I don't know where the ceiling really is.
I think he's good.
I mean, I do. That's the thing. I think he's a very talented player.
I get it.
I think he's good, but I just think he's more of a second round talent, and going with the
rookie
last
draft. You're saying?
No, in NFL draft.
Oh,
I think he got overdrafted a little bit by this.
I mean, most of the good running backs in the league are second round running backs.
I hear you, and he, like I said, he's good. I think he's good. I don't think he's as good as I don't think he's as good of a player as Tyson. I understand why you're doing that. It's more of a draft strategy because you're going to flip some of them. I'll take Tyson just because I think he's a higher level of talent, much higher level of talent to me. It's a different
I don't agree with much higher level of talent, but yeah, I do think he's a higher level of talent for sure. But he's also a wide receiver, and there's at any given time 3 or 4 of them on the field.
And there's a lot more risk with Tyson for sure. Jadarian Price is way safer.
Is there though?
Yeah.
I don't know if there. I mean, I think there are plenty of avenues where Price is a borderline RB2, and at that point, your 105 is not a good pick.
If he's a borderline RB2 with
there's
flashes,
yeah, I mean,
he's going to hold that value. If he looks good and busts off a couple of he had long touchdown runs in college. It's not like he can't do that.
He had one of the better explosive rates in all of college football. But it's the odds are we're looking at the best case scenario for all these guys. The odds are 2 of these 3 wide receivers are going to be wide receiver 2s in the league, for fantasy. I mean, that's just the odds. Wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 even. So I just think, would I rather have a wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3, or would I rather have an RB2? I'd rather have an RB2.
But is RB2 his ceiling? Does he have a ceiling?
I don't think so. But I mean,
what is his ceiling then?
For me, his ceiling is RB1, top 12 running back.
Like a low end RB1. Wrong.
I don't even think a low end RB1, to be honest with you.
So maybe Bucky Irving level.
Yeah,
as far as
yeah. In the 6 to 8 range, I think is kind of his ceiling for me. I don't think there's any way he gets into, unless they completely change the way they operate as a football team, the Seattle Seahawks. I don't see any pathway to them having a runner that is like their Sean Alexander of the past. Mm-hmm. But Jadarian Price, I think, can definitely be the bell cow in an offense He just hasn't been given the opportunity. The data points are scary just because the situation is something that just really doesn't happen in college football all too often, almost never. So therefore, you get data points that just almost never happen.
Yeah. Yeah, the analytics guys don't know what to do with him. Sean Alexander, man, there's a name.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Could you imagine having a guy like him around today? What he'd be worth?
Yeah, that was my favorite era running back. The Sean Alexander, Tiki Barber, Brian Westbrook.
That's LT time.
Yeah, LT. Doug Martin.
The heyday.
Who else?
Early AP.
Yeah, early AP.
Yeah, those are some beasts.
Yeah, there was some really fun running backs. Not even talking about the best ones, but just really fun guys.
Yeah, back when the NFL let running backs have 25 touches a game.
Larry Johnson, Priest Holmes,
Curtis Martin.
Holmes. Yeah, Curtis Martin. Yeah,
all right.
Those some fun days.
God, back to reality. Jeez.
So you're on the clock at 106. It's a slam dunk for you, right?
Yeah. Jordan Tyson, I'd have taken him 2 picks ago.
Cool. Yeah, I think we've hashed everything, right? Anything that we didn't discuss? Y'all are worried, excited, anywhere in between?
No, I'm excited.
Do you believe the offense and the quarterback can maintain two receivers?
Yeah, I do, actually. It's a really good offense. I believe in the head coach and the offensive system, and I've always liked Shuck. Since the first time I turned that tape on, I've liked him, and he's done nothing but prove himself, so I'm good.
Chad, feel the same?
I think there's a little bit of reason to be optimistic, and there's a few reasons to be a little pessimistic, or at least a little cautious with the situation going on there. There's just a lot of unknowns. And drafting a wide receiver 2 and hoping that he reaches wide receiver 1 fantasy production when Chris Olave is across from him with an unknown quarterback. Because Tyler Shuck, as much as some of us really like him, at this point he is an unknown. They played really bad teams, and he looked kind of just average against those bad teams.
But I agree, he's unknown. Absolutely.
So he's still an unknown. I mean, he's a little bit less of a risk than he was last year, just because we saw like he can be at least competent. But he also still has to take that next step, especially in trying to support 2 wide receivers. It's really, really difficult to do. Very, very difficult to do, especially when you have Alvin Kamara and Travis Etienne on the roster as well.
And Juwan Johnson's not.
He's not going anywhere. Yeah, right. and so it's just a lot. There's a lot of obstacles in front of him. Not saying he can't get it done, but there's just a lot depending on other situations as well. It's not just whether Jordan Tyson is a good player. We've seen these kind of situations with Devonta Smith, right? As talented as Devonta Smith is, never really been more than wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 in fantasy, because it's just an untenable situation.
Until now, baby.
Yeah, but I hope we don't have to wait until Jordan Tyson is 29.
Yeah.
Right?
He's not 29.
I mean, 28, right?
27. He just turned 27.
Okay.
That's AJ Brown. That's 29.
Gotcha.
So 35. Gotcha. All right. 107. I don't really feel good at anybody here, to be honest with you. I was excited during rookie drafts at 107 because, I'm gonna get this next tier, and like the more I've thought about it and the more it's gone, I'm less excited. So I'm gonna take the guy I had the highest, and Kenyon Sadiq. I don't really love the situation, but it's a tight end that I think is going to get a lot of usage early on, and for the tight end position, that's as good as anything.
Tight. It's all right. I mean, it's him or the quarterback. I'd take the quarterback personally, but I mean, unless you really feel that strongly about one of the 3 next tier of receivers.
I think early on, Concepcion was probably the clear 107.
Yeah, in most drafts I saw he was going 107, unless I had the 107.
Yeah.
That's why I actually didn't end up with any shares. Oh, one share. I got 108.
Cool. Chad, 8. Where are you going?
Yeah.
Wait, are we done talking about Sadiq?
And we can keep going. I didn't know. I guess, Chad, do you have him at 7? Is that where you would have gone?
Yeah, I probably would go Kenyon Sadiq there. I mean, it's all right. I feel happy about it in a higher premium league, but yeah, I'm not upset at him there in a 0.5 premium either. It's just one of those. If I'm in that spot, I try to move up a spot or two if I can, or try to move back even.
As
So
someone who had 7 in 2 leagues, it was so expensive to even move up a spot.
Yeah.
Like I think I had the 201 and I did 107, 201, and he wouldn't do 106.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
Yeah, the 107 and on, the picks were just very little value. It was very, very difficult to trade.
I was able, shout out Chad, was able to get 28 first for 2 of my later first this year, and even got a second thrown in on both of them. So I felt good about that.
Yeah,
Nice.
that is
That's
good.
a win.
As far as Sadiq goes, though, there's a lot of competition for targets and a Juno Smith involved. So not exciting to me, not to mention that they drafted a tight end in the second round last year. So I just, as long as you understand what you're getting here is somebody that you may have to wait on. I don't have a problem with it because the other options aren't optimal either. So
Yeah.
if you can't trade out, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that makes Kenyon Sadiq a little bit more attractive to me is the Mekhi Lemon and Jordan Tyson situations. Just that I don't think the landing spot for either one of those guys was optimal. They're not bad, but they're not optimal, right? And so Kenyon Sadiq's being so bad really just kind of it made it a little bit more palatable. Taking him at 107. Whereas, like, if Kenyon Sadiq or if Mekhi Lemon and Jordan Tyson got really good landing spots, and then Kenyon Sadiq ended up with the Jets, I think we'd be having a few swishes of mouthwash. Might have been necessary for drafting him.
The capital at least is good.
Yeah, he should earn targets. I mean, in that offense, just off the draft capital alone in his rookie season. So.
Yeah, for sure. He's definitely, and the thing is, he's definitely, for me, not the person I'm most worried about in that Jets offense.
Yep.
As far as the people that were drafted, which we'll get to later. But I think his position in the offense is pretty safe as far as the pecking order, just because he was drafted so highly. They obviously have a plan for him going in.
Yeah, I think he's pretty safely the 2 or 3 if you want to include Breece Hall.
Yeah.
I think he's pretty safe there. Is going to be the target earner.
Just trying to call that now, though, I think is insane. I think all we really know is that Garrett Wilson is the one, and then the rest you have to kind of put in a bag, shake it up, and see what comes out.
Well, yeah, we're just trying to make predictions here, right? Because you're ultimately choosing between players and a few picks, right? So for me, if I had to place a bet on it, Kenyon Sadiq is the guy that just makes the most sense. When you're there's obstacles for the Jets picking him, right? Like them just taking a tight end with high draft capital last year means they really like this player and they really have an understanding of how they want to utilize him in an offense. Whereas, if you're taking a wide receiver with a later pick after you invested all this draft capital in other players, it just kind of it makes it a little bit more muddy for him, in my opinion. That's why I lean to Kenyon Sadiq. Not necessarily saying that Kenyon Sadiq is so much more talented than Omar Cooper. It's just, when you're reading between the lines here, it's kind of where you end up, in my opinion.
Yeah, we kind of just saw it with Chicago last year. Took Loveland at 10 and went right to Burden after, and Loveland earned the target share much quicker than Burden did.
Loveland's
they have Cole Kmet, which was also a very good tight end. So,
it's because Loveland's a much better player than any of those people or any
but
of these
Luther
people.
Burden also, he wasn't a big part of the game plan early in the season, right? And if Omar Cooper was a player, they said, you know what, this is a foundational part of our offense right now, he would have been their first pick.
Yep.
That's just what it is. Like, let's be honest here. He was even being mocked as one of the earliest wide receivers off the board.
He's still a first-round wide receiver, though.
Well, no, I mean, nobody's saying it's doomsday on Omar Cooper. We're just saying if you had to place your bets right now, it just sounds like Kenyon Sadiq is going to be the player that gets the earlier looks.
So
right?
if I had to pick from a menu, turd burger or poop sandwich, you're taking turd burger.
I mean, I don't think either of that, to be honest with you. I think you're being a little on the extreme negative side of it. I mean, we don't know, which is scary, but
Yeah.
I mean, there's a good opportunity that both of those guys could be the second and third option in an offense, which is valuable.
The good thing is neither one of them has to have sustained production to kind of hold their current value. All they really have to do is flash, look pretty good at points in the season, and it should be fine.
Well, and that's the other point I was going to bring up too. Is I do think that Kenyon Sadiq's the threshold that he has to hit is also a lot lower than Omar Cooper's.
As a tight end, that's very true.
Yeah,
and the fact that everyone knows that they're getting a tight end and a quarterback next year and a really good quarterback class is gonna add to hype for both of these players next offseason.
Yeah, the excitement of what can be.
Right, exactly. Yeah, these guys flashed, or Kenyon Sadiq flashed, or Omar Cooper flashed last year with Geno Smith, and now they have
Arch Manning,
or whoever we say, Dante Moore or whoever.
Yeah, I agree.
Not Julian Sayin, according to Austin.
No, that is correct. All right, Chad, 108.
Oh, my turn already?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the quarterback.
My man.
I'm gonna go Ty Simpson. Yeah, he just kind of makes sense in this spot here. I think this is as early as I'm gonna pick him, to be completely honest. But I'm also not opposed to trading out here if you can go get future draft capital. That makes sense. But Ty Simpson's also a guy that's gonna retain value just because of the nature of the position and the nature of the team, right? And the outlook there with LA and how excited everybody is and probably should be going forward. I don't think Matthew Stafford retiring means that the team's going to fall off a cliff. There's a lot of talent there on that offense. And if they can keep that going, especially if McVay stays, there's a lot to like. The whole like not wanting to draft Ty Simpson, part of it from the McVay interviews, I think was pretty ridiculous, to be honest with you. I think it was a lot of it was silly media driven stuff.
He was protecting Stafford in those interviews.
Yeah. And that was kind of the first thing I thought when I saw it, and then to see that those reports come out later, it just made all the sense in the world to me. It kind of don't want to rub it in his face. So I think they're obviously really stoked for him, is what I'm trying to say, and he's probably going to have at least a really good shot to be a starting quarterback in the league, which is always nice to get in this draft position.
Yeah, ideally, in a more loaded draft class, we'd take him a little later in the first, but I'm fine with it here. I've been taking him at 107, but I've also got him at 108. I have no problem with it for every reason you just said.
Yeah, I don't have a share, to be honest. I moved out and got 28 first each time I could have taken him. I think it's going to be a safer asset.
I tried to trade out numerous times and couldn't, so I just ended up taking him at 4 or 5 shares.
It's almost a wash, right? And that's I'd rather have the picks, like in a vacuum. Of course, I'd rather have the picks because they are guaranteed to hold value, whereas
go up in value, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas the quarterback Ty Simpson, he's going to fluctuate a little bit, and let's be honest, it's probably at some point going to drop in value and then go back up just based on reporting, also based on Matt Stafford's health and all this kind of stuff. It's just very environmentally based, whereas we kind of know what the picks are going to do at this point if you've been playing Dynasty long enough. So I think that's a pretty smart move.
Yeah, and if we get lucky and some guys stay in college in this amazing class next year, 28 will probably be pretty good.
They're going to. It's going to happen. There's no way they can all come out. We've seen it time and time again. So 28 should be pretty exciting. Jesse, you get to choose one of the 3 receivers, or are you going to surprise us?
Yeah, 109. I'll take Concepcion here. He hasn't fallen to me at this point. I think he may have gone 109 in a draft or two that I was in, but I didn't have 109, so I didn't get to take him. I took him at 108 in our RSO league. The reason, and Ty Simpson was on the board, but that is a different kind of league with contracts, and I didn't feel as though I could wait 2 years on a quarterback when I already had 3 of them under contract. But otherwise, this is where I have Concepcion at 109. Chad made the argument that he has the best chance of any receiver on that team to be the number one receiver on that team, and that's highly valuable. So cool. I'll take it. I love the talent. I think he has an outside chance of being a wide receiver 1 someday, but more likely he'll probably, if the hands don't get him, he'll be a pretty good wide receiver 2, and his value will be kind of up and down throughout his career, but I think he'll be a useful piece. In a class like this at 109, I'll take it.
Yeah, I feel basically the same. I don't really have much else to add. I've kind of lukewarmed on him a little bit, but at 109, that's the right spot.
Yeah. Just to expand a little bit on what Jesse was saying, kind of my argument for Casey is, I'm not crazy about Casey, the player, as much as some people are, but to me, you kind of got to read the room a little bit, kind of like what I've been doing with some of these other picks. Casey Concepcion, I want the guy that has a chance to be a wide receiver 1. It could be Denzel Boston, it could be him, but they're the 2 players that have the best chance at it out of any of the players not named Carnell Tate, who went 102. So to be able to get the players that have a shot at that late in the first round in this kind of draft class, to me, is a win.
Cool. I want to take someone else, but I'm going to take Denzel Boston.
Really?
Yeah. Similar argument to what was just made for KC. I'm kind of making it for Denzel Boston here. I think he has a very similar chance to be the wide receiver 1 in an offense. I think that his sure-handedness is going to make him look better at times than KC. His explosiveness will not, but he will catch mass majority of the passes that come to him, and that's pretty important to get on the field early.
He's gotten the most hate out of everyone I've seen in this draft class, falling into the high second at times. People hating taking him at 112. I don't have any problem with it at all. I think Pittman kind of got treated the same way in rookie drafts.
Yeah, he was a mid-second a lot.
It's you know what people would do in Dynasty, which is always interesting to me, and it's something that I try to stay away from. It's easy to fall into the trap. I'm not saying the people doing this are, idiots. It happens, right? It's human nature. Well, what we do is we see a player that another player reminds us of, and it doesn't even have to be based in fact, because most people that play Dynasty, let's face it, don't watch college football. But body type and a few traits remind you of a player that didn't work out from the previous year or from a couple years earlier that you may have drafted earlier than you probably should have. And that carries on, and then you attach those to that player. And I think that's what Denzel Boston's suffering from a little bit. The same thing happened with Jalen Waddle, right? When we had, who was it that ran really fast the previous year?
Ruggs.
Yeah, Ruggs.
Same class, I thought.
No,
it was the year before. You're right.
Yeah,
right. Sorry.
So Ruggs ran really fast, didn't play well because he's not that good of a player, but was drafted really high, both in the league and in Dynasty. And then the year that Waddle was coming out, and everybody was like, well, he's just like Henry Ruggs, and he slipped a little bit. But if you watched Waddle play, he was nothing like Henry Ruggs.
Right. Like Waddle was a complete receiver.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely, had a profile to be an alpha in the league. And so I really, really, I try to avoid making mistakes like that. And I think that's going on with Denzel Boston a little bit, attributing a little bit of that to Keon Coleman, and what happened with him. So, I think he's a good player. I think he's a different player than Keon Coleman. But I can see why some people think there are a few similarities and maybe have a few nightmares.
Way different player.
Yeah, very different player. Very different player.
All right, I'm up.
Nope, Chad.
Yeah, so this one's going to be easy for me. I'm going to go with Eli Stowers.
Yeah, it's a good pick. That's who I wanted to take and might should have, but tell me why you took.
Yeah. So when you have a talented tight end, I'm again just another player I'm not really super high on as a prospect. I was kind of lower on him than consensus. I think most people had him tight end 2, I had him tight end 3. But just reading the room, I like the situation. I like him being a Goddard replacement. I think the writing's on the wall for Goddard. He's probably I mean, not even probably. I would say more
It's
than
his
90% chance that Goddard's gone after this year.
It's his last year.
Yeah. So him being the Goddard replacement, I think bodes well for him. I think they're fairly similar players in a lot of the things that they can do well. So I think it's a role that he can step right into, and I can just picture what they have prepared for him in that offense, and I like it. And I think that Jalen Hurts, let's say Mekhi Lemon doesn't work out the way that Devonta Smith. It's hard to find a wide receiver 2 like Devonta Smith, right? Well, Devonta Smith was probably the best wide receiver 2 in the league. It's a high bar for Mekhi Lemon to hit. If Mekhi Lemon can't hit that, I think a guy like Eli Stauer stepping in and becoming that second player in the offense is a real possibility.
Yeah, I agree. He excites the heck out of me for usage. Even this year at 12 personnel, I think he'll fit just fine. And so I think he could definitely, we see a value spike. Because if he looks decent, similar to what Jesse was saying with Sadiq, if he even just shows 3 or 4, oh my gosh, plays, and then Goddard leaves, his value is going to go crazy.
And he's got the athleticism and the ability to do that.
Yeah, I think there is one negative to drafting him here. Just something I feel like I have to add. His value is probably going to drop a little bit between now and next season, when I think you're going to be really wanting to get in on him. But I think him here compared to some of the players that are going after him, I just really like the whole kind of kit and caboodle. So if you can take him, hold on to him, try to be disciplined, not trade him off early like a lot of people did with Trey McBride, then I think you're going to be really happy with what happens year 2, year 3.
Yeah, I think from 107 on, that's the pill you have to swallow with all of these players, is that you may be taking a bit of a value drop in year 1.
Yeah, because, I mean, as we've discussed, you can't hardly get a first for these picks.
Right.
So, you're kind of buying Stowers at the 111, but it's not even really a first in Dynasty value because you can't move that pick for a first. So I don't know how much he actually drops in actual value, but you're dead on. In theory, he is likely to drop some from lack of usage this season.
And same with Omar Cooper, who I'm going to take next. Same thing. We talked about him earlier, though, and I'm confident that with the new coaching staff coming in next year and them being able to draft either 101 or 102, all of their players, all of their weapons will get hype at that point. Yes, there's risk that he doesn't get on the field and he doesn't establish himself or splash or look good at all this year and his value tanks, but there's that a high risk of that for all of the players left on the board. So I think Cooper has the highest value. He's just the best player left on the board, so I'm going to take him.
I agree completely. It's at 112, it's totally worth it.
Yeah.
All right, let me do a review of round 1, and we'll move to round 2. 101, Jeremiah Love. 102, Carnell Tate. 103, Fernando Mendoza. 104, Mekhi Lemon. 105, Jadarian Price. 106, Jordan Tyson. 107, Kenyon Sadiq. 108, Ty Simpson. 109, Casey Concepcion. 110, Denzel Boston. 111, Eli Stowers. 112, Omar Cooper Jr. And I'm up at 2-1, which is honestly might be my least favorite pick in this draft.
Yeah.
Because 2-1 to 2-6 maybe feels the exact same.
It's really and the way it works out, it's like 2-8 or 2-10 because there's, as we'll discuss, there's other people that are high on other players that I wouldn't take, but are consistently going in the high second, late first.
Yeah, it's been really rough. I think I've moved out of each one of these I've had. But if you're forcing me to take a player at 2-1, I'm going to take Chris Bell because I think he's the most talented receiver left on the board. I'm going to go against what Chad said is in taking the player that's most likely to see value gain. That is most likely not Chris Bell, but I think he is the best player available currently. So I'm going to kind of eat the value early on and hope that at least maybe by the end of the year I see a value gain. it is a risky pick, and there probably should be other options, but I do just think he's the best player available.
He's one of probably 8 different players I've seen go in that place. And
it's not black and white, right? Like I'm not saying always take the best player, or that the player that has the easiest pathway to value gain, because it doesn't always work out that way. I think with the rest of the players on the board right now, you are weighing, okay, which one of these guys can see the value bump versus do they even have the level of talent? And I think Chris Bell is kind of the outlier here as far as pure talent level goes. So I get it. I would make the same pick. Actually, I'm kind of mad because if you're saying all these guys are similar, then leave my guy for me, right?
Well, I think he's the best one. But I have, I think, 4 receivers, maybe 5 in this tier together.
Yeah.
But Bell's down in this tier because he's most likely, I think we're going to be happy to see him midseason.
Right.
So that's why for me,
now, are you saying you think he'll be healthy by midseason?
Yeah, I think we're hoping to see him on the field getting hopefully meaningful snaps. I just look, they have a week 6 bye, so maybe week 7.
Well, yeah. I mean, if he's missing all of that time up till then, it's going to be hard for, he's not that pro ready either.
I mean, not in that receiver room. That's the plus. I mean, they have Tutu Atwell, Malik Washington. Like he's not gonna. He has more talented players than those guys.
They drafted a few other receivers.
Yeah, Caleb Douglas and Kevin Coleman. I mean, again, neither of those are talented players. Coleman's a better receiver.
That's
than
not
Douglas.
What they think.
Well, I mean, they showed what they think. They drafted which one where?
They drafted Caleb Douglas very high. What above Chris Bell, right?
Yeah,
it might have been by a few picks. Yeah.
So,
I mean, but that's with the Chris Bell being injured.
Yeah, it's just what I'm getting at is that the injury is going to set him back really far. Not being able to go through camp and practices with the team. Like, if we see him by midseason, that's like really, really a great thing. I think you have to prepare yourself to not see him until late in the season, or maybe just in little spurts here and there.
I had that same opinion up until recently when I sat and I thought about it for a while, and I was like, you know what? Because I think I was getting, to bring us back to the same conversation, or the same point that I brought up with not letting the previous years, draft misses and similarities scare you off of new situations. I got scared from Jameson Williams. I thought Jameson Williams was the most talented wide receiver in the class, and him coming out hurt really did set him back. And I think it's easy to say, okay, well, why won't that happen to Chris Bell? Chris Bell is not Jameson Williams. He's not as talented as Jameson Williams is. But I think it was a lot harder to break into that Lions offense just because of the nature of the offense, how they play, and the level of talent at running back, wide receiver, and tight end. The Dolphins have none of that. They have nothing. So what I do think Chris Bell has going for him is his level of talent. I think a healthy Chris Bell is probably the most talented skill player on that roster right now outside of Devon A-Chain.
Yeah, I agree.
Fingers crossed. I don't have a problem.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely that.
I don't have a problem with the pick at all whatsoever.
All right, Chad, 2-2.
This one's tough because I want to go with my heart, kind of want to ignore my head a little bit.
All these are going to be. All these are so hard.
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with very hot take pick here. I'm gonna go Malachi Fields.
That's not. I knew.
Homer.
I knew that.
I'm gonna go Malachi Fields. It's actually I've not picked Malachi Fields this early in any draft. But with the Malik Neighbor news looking a little more worrying the closer we get to the season, I think there's a chance he's not starting right away and he steps right into a starting wide receiver role. I think the biggest obstacle to him playing is
his talent.
Malik Neighbors being healthy, and then Darnell Mooney being the wide receiver 2 in that offense. I think if Malik Neighbors misses some time, he's at least going to get the opportunity, and that counts for something with me. I do like Mekhi Fields. I know Austin kind of hates him.
I just don't think he's talented. That's the problem.
But yeah, I don't have a problem with the player. The situation is okay, but it could be really good if Malik Neighbors does start the season on the pup.
And that'll definitely improve his chance to see value gain. That is a very fair argument.
Yeah, that's both sides of it. That's why he's in this tier for me.
Yeah. I mean, he would have been at the end of this tier, so I'm not really arguing hard. He would be like 2.5, 2.6 for me. So
that's where I've gotten him. I've gotten him somewhere around 2.6 to 2.8. But I just think if Malik Neighbors does start the season on the pup, I think he's easily 202, 203 for me. Like very easily.
And he might realistically be 2-1 if that's the case. If he's able to be a starter week 1. All right, Jesse.
I'll take Stribling here.
How dare you?
He was on my radar late in the process, and rumors were he was rising up people's boards. Then he went to the Niners. They had taken him in the first round, like we discussed, but were able to trade down and take him in the high second. The role there just is so clear. It's plug and play. He's Juwan Jennings, right? And
I think that's what we expect.
Yeah, it's what we expect. He's a physical player. He's going to block. He's a faster player. I think he's a better player than Juwan Jennings at his peak. Like, he's a little raw. He probably needs to learn the game a little bit, but I think he's just will turn into a better player. And I mean, I like having the Niners receiver here. I think he's going to get some run this year. It's not easy. I'd also take Jeremy Bernard. It's probably between those two. And then there's a few other players in the tier as well. But I'll take Strib. That's who I've been most consistently going with when I'm faced with this choice of him versus this tier of receivers.
Yeah, it's opportunity for me. He's in the Niners. He's on the Niners, so I think you're swinging really high, saying he's a better player than Juwan Jennings.
Better athlete.
I mean, sure, those are two completely different things, but
I mean, he's a really good blocker.
Juwan Jennings is a really good blocker.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But he's faster, and I think has better hands.
All right. I'm not going to semantics that, but I think we're praying that he can be a Juwan Jennings early on. Mm-hmm. And if he can, then this is a great pick because that role is wide open. Mike Evans is going to have his role. Ricky Pearsall, assuming he's healthy, will have his role. And so Stribling should fit right into that offense perfectly.
Yeah, and I think people need to prepare themselves for Kittle to not be around, at least early in the year. And knock on wood, but McCaffrey getting that many touches last year and staying healthy was a miracle.
Yeah.
And I don't expect that to happen again.
Yeah. It's the same argument I had with Saquon last year. I will be making this year with CMC. So
right on.
All right. Well, I'm up at 2-4, and it still sucks making a selection. So I'm gonna take Antonio Williams. It's just opportunity. I think him and Bernard are similar talented players.
Yeah.
I think what Bernard has in front of him is more difficult for targets. And Bernard with Rodgers can either go phenomenally or terribly. So I think Williams has a clear opportunity to be a wide receiver 2 in the offense. And even if they bring in Brandon Ayuk, he will be a starting slot receiver week 1.
This is where I really think your build has a lot to do with it. So if you're looking to get production right now, and you want somebody that is going to be bench depth or someone you can plug in as a flex, this is your guy. He's got a better quarterback than Bernard, and he's conceivably going to step in and be the number 2 target, for Jalen Daniels. Did I say that right?
No,
Jaden Daniels?
Yeah, Jaden.
Jalen plays basketball.
There's so many. There's a Jalen Daniels in quarterback too.
Oh yeah, was it Kansas? Is that right?
I think so. K-State. Yeah,
I think I've traded out of this pick every time I was able to. I got like 3 shares of Monty here. So if you're looking for flex points, trade your pick.
I guess we should bring that up. I've been trading out of all of these picks as well for Bretton Strange in premium leagues.
Yeah, I tried Jonathan Brooks. I couldn't get it done. Couple leagues I need running back, at least upside plays, and couldn't get it done with these early to mid seconds.
He's a really tough guy to get these days.
Yes,
between 201 and 204, I got probably 4 different shares of Bretton Strange.
Nice. Yeah, I think there's you're between a few different players here. I think there's one more in this tier for me. And whose turn is it? My turn.
It's
It's
yours.
your turn.
And I'm going Jeremy Bernard.
Yeah.
He's the last guy there for me. And yeah, I would take Williams ahead of him, like Austin did. But it's not really much about the players. It's kind of just about the situation. Just like he was saying. So pretty self-explanatory, I think.
I disagree that he's the last guy in this tier. There's one more, and we'll see if Austin takes him.
And it's your pick, so you're going to get to take him.
Oh, I'm up. Oh, yeah, I'll take Ted Hurst all day. He's absolutely in the mix in this tier. I took him. I got a lot of shares of him because sort of kind of fell. I think he's a better player than Malachi Fields. It's just the opportunity is a lot more muddy.
Yeah, it definitely is. Though here in oh my gosh, my mind just went blank of their OC. Anyway,
it's the
I can't remember. Zach Robinson, is that right?
He was with the Falcons last year.
Yeah,
Zach Robinson. That sounds right.
He basically said that he's going to have opportunity to start week 1 as the X.
Nice. Oh yeah, that's right. He was talking him up, saying that he's got a different skill set than the rest.
No, I've been watch out for Jalen McMillan.
So unless there was new reports, I actually watched that interview. He didn't say that. That's how it was reported on Twitter by a lot of accounts, but he did not say that. He did not say that he was gonna. He said that he had a different build than a lot of the players and could be a prototypical X. He didn't say that he had.
Yeah, he did say that.
The number 1 starting X.
No, but we think it means that.
No, yeah. But I'm just saying a lot of people were reporting that that's what was said. Is that he had a chance?
No, you're right. That's not what was said. We're extrapolating.
Yeah, well, I mean that was what the Twitter report said in words.
Yeah,
so.
that's what the Twitter report said.
That is good to hear.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that the Twitter reports were saying that.
Okay.
Yeah, which is why he's at the end of this tier for me, because I do think he has competition for Jalen McMillan. I think that they are.
Austin, you need to look at the reception perception on McMillan. He's a slot guy.
I mean, that's not where they're playing him, so it kind of makes it tough. All right, I'm going to keep letting somebody fall down the board I don't believe in and take someone I do, and that's Max Clare.
Nice.
For me, it's the next set of guys would likely be a running back or 2. I don't really believe in either one of them, so I'm going to take someone I do really believe in. It was my tight end 2 pre-draft. Went to the Rams. Can't complain about that. I mentioned before they were actually second in total fantasy points for tight ends last year, behind basically Trey McBride, but the Cardinals. So if Clare can figure out a role and earn himself targets, it's going to be a very successful spot for him.
Yeah, I misspoke. He's also in that tier with all those receivers for me.
Yeah. Chad, anything else?
Yeah, I mean, for all the reasons you said, I really like Clare. I think if there was a guy that you want to draft and have sit in your taxi until he can prove that he can be fantasy relevant, that's the guy. I'm really, really excited to see what he can do in that offense. Hopefully he can beat guys out early, because there are just a list of names there, but none of them are starting players in the league, in my opinion. So
yeah. I mean, Parkinson likely keeps his role because the Rams like him, and he's pretty talented. But anybody else, I think Clare could absolutely become the tight end 2 pretty early, because he's at the complete tight end.
I don't know what the contract looks like, but it seems like there's a decent chance that Higbee doesn't even make the team.
I can tell you.
I think he's just kind of there right now, and
Yeah.
as a veteran that if he does stay on the roster, is just a veteran that they're going to rely on in spots. But typically
Right.
it's been a long time since the Rams have had. I can't even remember the last time the Rams have had a one tight end that they've just relied on for an extended period of time.
Yeah, that's true.
It's been a very long time, but hopefully Max Clare can step in and change that up a little bit.
I mean, I at least hope that they can boil it down to like maybe him and Ferguson at some point.
Yeah, I think Ferguson's going to be a project as he was coming out. So that would be cool if that can be the case. But Claire can be the every down tight end, and Ferguson can be the receiving tight end. So that would be nice if that was the case.
Yeah, I mean Parkinson is going to be there and have that role this year, but maybe in within a year or so he takes over because Parkinson can play in line and do a lot of the like in and out formation kind of things. If Claire can learn and take over for him, just the prospect of possibly having the Rams number one tight end and mid to late second round in a premium league, I'll take that all day.
So Parkinson's on the last year of his contract.
Good.
I mean, they can save almost $6 million cutting him this year if they did. I don't think they do, but they could.
I don't think they do either.
And Higbee is basically on a 1-year deal. He technically has $1 million on guaranteed next year, but it's if they cut him post June 1st, it's actually zero dead. It just transfers to 26. So he absolutely could be a cut candidate.
Nice. Well, I'm glad I don't have this next pick.
Mr. Chad does.
Oh God. Man, this one's tough.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with Jacoby Lang.
Ooh,
spicy.
Yep. I think it's the earliest I've seen him.
Yeah, it is the earliest I've seen him.
All right, make your case.
Yeah, how come?
I mean, why not? Somebody's gonna have to be wide receiver 2 in that offense, right? And if Rashad Bateman continues to fizzle out / get injured every year, why not Jacoby Lang? I do like him as a player. Just wish he had got a little bit higher draft capital. Wish he wasn't on Baltimore, but I do think it's possible to have some flex appeal as a wide receiver 2 in that offense. There's really not much, I think, super high upside there, but I also don't think it's as nasty as some people are thinking it's going to be for him.
Yeah, I liked him as a player. I like you just said, don't like the landing spot, but you're also right. Someone's going to have to be irrelevant too there for Baltimore to be successful.
And for all of those reasons, I will take Elijah Surratt here. This is for those exact same reasons.
Yeah,
I think that he moved up for me. I have not had to take him this high. We should address the elephant in the room here is that we're not taking the running backs. None of us has taken one of the running backs. We didn't discuss this pre-draft. This is just kind of how it's going. This is how we see it. I see them all as third round guys. So I just won't do it here when there's receivers with higher upside. Surratt, I just like what they said as soon as they drafted him. We like him inside. We think that he does a lot of really good things inside. They mentioned back shoulder throws. If that can turn into their number 2 receiver as a big slot, that they're playing him correctly, I think that he'll have a role in the end zone, in the red zone. I think he could definitely score. Like I could see him having a 600 or 700 yard, 8 to 10 touchdown rookie season as their wide receiver too, if that were to come about. At this point, with the other choices, it'd be like him or Brazel.
That's fair. I don't really like him as a player, so I have 0 shares, but your argument makes sense.
I like him in the role. I like him in this role. If I thought that this was the only way he could succeed in the NFL, and then I thought he could be pretty good, and they came right out and said that's why we drafted him, then cool. All right, I'll give it a shot.
Fair. All right. Well, I'm going to take a running back at this point because I don't like anywhere else on the board, and running backs have the best opportunity to see significant value gain. So I'll take Jonah Coleman, and it's mainly because I think J.K. Dobbins will eventually get hurt, and he'll have a role. I don't understand the early second hype for this, and unless people just don't like the other players we've taken, because he was a 4th-round running back in a room that already has 2 successful running backs. But at 210, I'll absolutely take the shot. I think he can be an average NFL running back, and that's fine in the Sean Payton offense.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is where you're drafting. People are drafting him like J.K. Dobbins is not on the roster and making significant money.
Yeah,
right, exactly.
So I don't mind him. I don't mind him here, but I also I don't think he plays this season unless J.K. Dobbins gets hurt, which I don't think.
Well, he's
out of the question,
never,
but also
he's never been healthy for a whole season. So I think the most games played he's had is 13.
Yeah, but it's also he's also not a RJ Harvey, right? Like that's I mean that's the thing too. Like there's other players there. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough sledding for him. So I'm not arguing against this position. I think this is probably where he should go. I'm arguing him against. I'm arguing against 201, 202, like I've seen in some leagues. It just makes no sense to me because there's no upside to this pick.
Right. And all right, let's just say you're taking this for next year. You think he's their back of the future, and Dobbins gone the offseason. This is the type of player that is so easily drafted over.
Yeah.
If you don't believe in RJ Harvey and you think Dobbins will get hurt and leave in the offseason, then they're going to take another player. They're not going to just put everything on Jonah Coleman.
Yeah. And like I said, I've moved 204, 205 consistently. 3 different leagues. I moved him. I moved that pick for Monty. And I'd take Monty 10 out of 10 times over Jonah Coleman easily. Yeah. I'd probably give up.
He's a starting running back in the league. Of course.
I'd probably give up Jonah Coleman in a future second for Monty if Jonah Coleman was valued like he was supposed to be valued. But
like I said earlier,
and this is coming from somebody who likes him as a player. You guys know I like Jonah Coleman coming out. This just makes no sense to me from a dynasty perspective.
I mean, ideally, this is a player I'd like to take in the 3rd round.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, but this is not an ideal draft. So
right.
No, it's not. Speaking of Chad, where are you going here? Your last pick.
Man. Last pick. I better make it count, huh?
That's
all right. So I'm gonna go. You guys help me out here. So the guys on between. Let's talk through a couple players just to make it a little bit fun. Skylar Bell being one of them.
Okay.
All right.
Reasonable.
Let's put up. Who's the running back here? Throwing up. What are we thinking?
Katron.
Yeah, what are you thinking? Katron?
Katron would be next on my list.
All right, and then who's a wide receiver or tight end that you guys have in this range?
Brazel or Delp.
Brazel would be mine.
Yeah, Brazel.
Okay,
definitely over Delp.
So who, if you had this, let's say this is the only pick you had in the draft, right? You haven't drafted anybody else. Who's the guy you're going with? Who's the upside guy for you guys?
I'm probably taking Katron because he has the best opportunity for upside. I think Brazel's probably. My issue with Bell is he went to one of the only teams in the league and that I just don't see how he sees the field for consistent usage unless Shakir gets hurt. Like even
if he does, they have
similar
other
players.
Slot options. You know,
I mean, Bell's a talented player. Like I liked him pre-draft.
Sure, but I'm just saying you can't automatically plug him in and
Yeah, you can't assume he's going to get the playing
right.
time.
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess he would be third of the three options we discussed, and it's just because of opportunity.
Mm.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I think so. We went with Katron?
that was my guess. What do you have, Jesse?
I would go with Brazel. I
Okay.
struggled with him between him and Surratt. I just upside. He's an explosive player in an ascending. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, there we go. This is a
offense.
Panthers podcast.
Fingers crossed, an ascending offense. But they have, they have their. I'm confident they have their true number one to draw coverage, and then Brazel is free to be the either the X or the Y.
Well, he'll be the Zeke flanker, is what he'll play.
Or that's what I meant. Yeah,
Yeah.
like either the flanker, but he could also move inside and be a vertical slot, no problem.
I'll tell you what, Brazel in that Z role is nice.
Yeah,
it
I
fits
like
offense
it. I
perfect.
think it fits. There's definite downsides to him, but I think he's got the most upside out of any of these guys here.
All right, Chad. Well, who are you picking then?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Katron Allen. I just think I think the running backs are tough sledding in this class. I do like Brazel a lot. He would be my next wide receiver off the board, but there's also some other guys that I can stomach at wide receiver as well. I don't think there's another running back that I really care to have at all. So maybe when we're talking about like 4th, 5th round, but other than that, as far as like where people are drafting them, Brazel's a guy that I like again, but I also like Zachariah Branch more than a lot of people do. I also like, Bell, like we mentioned. Even like really late in drafts, I like Deion Burks in the 5th round. So there's other guys that I really, really like, just me personally. But Katron Allen, if he does by some measure get a starting role in that offense, or even slides into that RB2 spot, I think there's room for him to win that going forward. So I really like that pick for value here at the end of the second.
Yes. Yeah, there's a good chance. I mean, Bill, if a Bill is your main competition, did they sign Jeremy McNichols?
They have Rashad White and Jerome Ford.
White and Jerome
Ford.
Okay.
Rashad White, I think, is the biggest obstacle for him.
Yeah,
it's pretty crowded, but he does things that none of those guys do. He is a big guy that uses his frame. He plays like a big back. So, yeah, I could see him earning a role, scoring some touchdowns and getting some value. He could be the Woody Marks of this year. Not that I'm saying they're similar players, but opportunity.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see which one of these running backs can pan out outside of the two that are going early in the first. Because there's a whole slate of them that went to more than questionable landing spots. So,
all right, so I'm up. I just stated my case for Brazel. The other options for me would be, as stated, Oscar Delp is the highest of the next tier of tight end, which I do like. Would be Delp, Jolly, Raritan. Is there someone I'm missing? Max Klein is at the bottom of that tier. Max Klein, Marlon Klein.
Marlon Klein, the
Marlon
German.
Klein. Yes, he's at the bottom of that tier for me. Like, I'm more comfortable in the 4th round with him.
I've been getting him in the 5th, and I've been getting Oscar Delp in the 4th, which is nice. I mean, that's been my favorite value in the class so far.
I like him, but I do think it's going to take some time with him. But at running back, there's also Emmett Johnson that I would consider here.
Yeah, that's probably the name that catches my eye the most.
Just if Andy Reid is one of the few coaches that still heavily uses a receiving back. So if he earns that role, that the name's escaping me. The old guy, that's Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt has had, he just plays like an old guy. He's probably 28.
Yeah.
But yeah, if he earns the role that Kareem Hunt's been occupying for the last couple of years, it's very valuable, and I think he could be successful at it. So, like, there weren't a lot of places that he could go that I would be interested in him, and this is one of them.
Yeah, and he has Kenneth Walker in front of him, which
yeah,
he can't stay healthy.
But Kenneth Walker's never been used as a receiving back. He's kind of shown that it's not really his thing. So
yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I think it's
he was saying a 0.4 year pick.
Oh, okay,
yeah. I mean, Walker can't stay healthy. He hasn't his whole career. Didn't in college. So there's definitely an avenue where Emmett Johnson becomes valuable year one.
Jesse was so ready to argue.
Yeah, he was like, man, he doesn't catch passes. All that being said, I'll take Brazel.
Okay. Yeah, I think us discussing those two final picks actually pushed me to put Brazel ahead of Allen. I know I picked Allen initially, but with Rashad White, Jerome Ford, JCM there, I feel like it's gonna be pretty tough for Allen to see any kind of real usage without injuries. Whereas Brazel, I think he steps in early on, maybe as early as week 1 as the starting Z in that offense.
Yeah, I think the contracts speak for themselves.
Yeah. There's nothing on any of them. You're definitely right. So it will be a free for all of who can earn the usage.
Yeah. All right, you want to recap that for us?
Yeah. Go ahead and trigger warning, everybody. No running backs till the end. Sorry. 2-1 Chris Bell, 2-2 Malachi Fields, 2-3 Dejon Stribling, 2-4 Antonio Williams, 2-5 Jeremy Bernard, 2-6 Ted Hurst, 2-7 Max Clare, 2-8 Jacoby Lane, 2-9 Elijah Surratt, 2-10 Jonah Coleman, 2-11 Katron Allen, and to finish it off, 2-12 Chris Brazel.
So just to go back to Surratt real quick, I want to bring up something that we've been getting shade in the comments of. I put up a video of us discussing Surratt, and at one point we compared his usage to Keon Coleman, just in that they would both need to be big slots in the NFL to be successful. And man, did people not like that.
Yeah, I mean, you're comparing him to a bus, so I guess I get it.
Man, but the reason I brought that up is I have to bring this up on air so that there's a receipt. The one guy said Elijah Surratt will be an all-pro in the NFL.
Oh,
and
okay.
I said, if that happens, I'll eat my hat on air.
Yeah, I will watch you do that.
Yeah, I will watch that too.
I will make some sort of Twizzler hat to eat, but I'll do it.
You sure it couldn't be your Eagles? That one hat you have? That'd be pretty cool.
No.
I mean, honestly, anybody I'm taking in the second round in this class, I'm hoping they're an okay flex player.
Yeah,
that's what I'm hoping for.
Right.
I think if you're taking any of these players and you're expecting for them to be all pros, you're probably coming into the draft with the wrong mindset, and you probably need to do some trading because it's not what you're going to end up with unless you get really, really lucky. It's probably one player in the second round is going to work out to be
or third or fourth.
And if any of my second rounders start to hit early, man, am I so fast to trade them. If I can get a first for somebody I took in the mid to late second, I'll do it so fast.
It is hard not to do. It works sometimes, and it's a mistake at others, but it is definitely hard not to do.
It's true. I have sold early on a couple guys because of that, but yeah, I love that.
It's only a mistake. It's only a mistake if you're not consistent, right? Like if you do it one time and it doesn't work out and you never do it again, then you made a mistake. Yeah, if you do it every time, it's going to work out more times than not, and it'll break even if you make a royal screw up.
I think it's a good strategy, and it's something that I will continue to do, even though I have gotten burnt. Because I'm getting a first, so how hard am I really getting burnt anyway?
Yeah.
So I want to go over a couple names we feel like might have been left off, or maybe the next couple guys.
Absolutely.
For me, I know Jesse's going to hate it, but somebody I've taken in the late second, if he's there, is Carson Beck, and it's just opportunity.
It's fine in the third.
Well, yeah, but that's not where I'm taking him. So I've taken him, I think, 2.9 to 2.12 multiple times. And it's because I think he's got a better opportunity to see value gain than players like Lane or Surratt. And it's just a quarterback. I think if a quarterback, if he gets to start in week 13, he's going to be worth considerably more than a late second in this class.
I understand the logic behind that, and it makes perfect sense. I just don't have the stomach for it, and I'm not going to take a bad player that I don't think is good and is going to fail if he gets an opportunity. I'm not going to do that, but I understand why you would.
Take a Tums. I really don't mind that pick at all. Like I to be honest with you, I just took the quarterbacks off my board after Ty Simpson, and I didn't really look at them. But if I was kind of paying attention to them, I'd have no problem taking Carson Beck in the late second. And that's coming from somebody who, I mean, I've talked as much crap about Carson Beck than anybody. I don't think he's a good player, but give me a player that's going to get game time in the NFL, which he has the pathway to, especially with the Brissett fiasco going on there in Arizona. So if he starts any amount of games, I think you've made a really good pick.
Yeah, that's kind of all I'm looking for is him to be named a starter at some point in the season, and I'm gonna fish for him, even if it's just somebody that's now worth at the time's worth an early second, and just trade for that player.
Aller is another guy I think is fine in the third. I mean,
yeah, third I'm cool with.
I'm going after the 3 tight ends here personally that I mentioned: Delp, Raritan, and Jolly.
I was more saying second round guys we might have missed than necessarily third, but yeah, that's fine too.
I had to struggle.
Okay.
Well, except for Emmett Johnson. Emmett Johnson, I guess, would be my 301 here.
Okay. Chad, I know you mentioned Branch and Bell. I think those would be my 2 receivers. Anyone else that we didn't mention for you that you would possibly think about taking in the second? You're muted.
You're muted.
Not in the second. Not for me.
Okay. Cool. Well, that's our final rookie mock draft.
Right on. All right, I guess we're in overtime.
Oh, let me throw out one more thing. To me, there's a few picks in rookie drafts that just don't make sense, like every year. Last year it was Oronde Gadsden. Told everybody I possibly could draft Oronde Gadsden. This makes no sense why he's going undrafted or going in the 5th round. This year, Caleb Douglas. Makes no sense that he's going in the 5th round or going undrafted this year in rookie drafts. Go get Caleb Douglas. He's free. You don't have to like him. You're not risking anything. Just go out there and get him before your league mates do, because it's free money. 6
different shares that way.
Yeah, if it's a nickel, you picked up a nickel. You can always forget you left it on the table or something and walk away. Mm-hmm. It is what it is, right? But don't walk away from free money in Dynasty.
Right on. All right, you guys watch anything good? Do anything fun? Anything good at the beach that we didn't talk about, Austin?
Not that I can think of. We went to our favorite restaurant.
I was going to ask you about that.
It's called the City Kitchen. It has like the most amazing view for a sunset possible. It's like a 3rd or 4th story restaurant, and there's a big bridge that goes out on the sunset side, so the sun sets underneath the bridge from their view. It's stunning. So every time we go at least go once to go there, because it's a fancy, like high-end dining place, but it's worth it just for the view itself.
Nice. There's a place in I mentioned we go to Fenwick Island a lot, and her family has a place there. There's a restaurant called the Crab Cake Factory, I think it's called. Go figure, in Maryland.
Yeah.
But you can sit where your table is right on the marsh leading into the bay, and if you go at dinner time, the sun sets over it. Really nice, and there's no window there, so like if you drop something, it's in the water, like on the other side there. So it's pretty cool. They have like osprey nests set up with cams, and then you can watch the osprey actually on the TV in the restaurant. It's pretty cool. You get to see a lot of different wildlife that you wouldn't expect.
Cool.
It's fun. Anything for you, Chad?
I watched the season 50 Survivor finale. That was fun.
Nice. Couldn't wait for you to bring that up.
No spoilers, gentlemen.
Yeah, no, we won't give any spoilers. Other than Jeff gave spoilers.
So that's what I texted about. Yeah, Jeff. They messed up their the order that they showed things.
Yeah, Jeff.
So
spoiled
actually brought
part of
somebody
the
out
ending.
that was eliminated before they showed them getting eliminated in the live.
Because they
thing.
were doing like a weird finale / live show, so it was like both of them at the same time. So they would cut to the live show, then cut back to the actual show.
They did that a couple seasons early on. I remember that.
Yeah,
It was pretty cool.
So, Jeff introduced one of the people that was eliminated and was like, "Sorry, you were eliminated. Go take a seat." And then all the people that were on the jury or whatever, they were sitting there. They were like, "What are you doing?"
Oh.
And then he was like, "What just happened? What happened?" And everybody's like yelling at him. And then he's like, "Okay." And then they went to commercial break. It was like it was the final three too. So it was bad.
No.
And it happened live.
Yeah,
Like it was fire. It was making fire.
That's
was bad.
insane. Yeah.
He was like, well, you all know who it is, so we're gonna watch them lose at fire.
Ouch.
I won't say who won, but I will say it is the person that I said to my wife more times during the season, that person's getting voted off this week. Oh, yeah,
Those are the
definitely that person.
Yeah.
Yeah, because usually if they make it to the end and they're that person, then the jury will vote for them because they're like, how the heck did they make it there?
This was the most annoying jury
Oh, no.
of any season I've ever seen. They were so annoying to me.
Do you know how many times I said, "Shut up, coach," last night?
Oh, God.
At least 10. And he didn't even talk that much.
No, he wasn't even in the top 5 of most annoying for me. There was so many annoying people in that jury. It's not even like even people I like on that jury were being annoying during the jury thing. They were like,
Yeah. I'm not going to say any names because I don't want to spoil it for you, Austin. Yeah, I will say though, by the end, there was nobody left for me to root for.
Yeah, I think a lot of people felt that way. But yeah, I also watched. There was a little documentary that my wife had on this morning when I woke up. So I watched some of it. It was about a teenager who killed her boyfriend and
the car crash
in a car. Yeah.
Bro. Kids, cover your ears. Screw her.
Yeah.
I mean,
rough.
I'm sorry. That is disgusting.
A good lawyer could have gotten her off, though. They didn't really have much evidence today.
Other than the video stuff.
And I was like, but even the video stuff is like, I mean, like you could make up scenarios in which
they tried.
Well, they said that she didn't remember. Like that was their whole defense, is that she didn't remember.
Well, because she had the pot syndrome, I think it's called.
Yeah.
What, from smoking pot?
No. No, it's something where like your mind goes blank for periods of time.
Yeah.
But I mean, she was 100% accelerator the entire time. Like that was on the black box. I mean, that's just disturbing.
Yeah. No, it's
heartbreaking, to be honest.
Real messed up.
Disgusting.
I can't believe like that's even real. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, I just can't fathom. Like, I remember when I was a teenager, and I'm like, man, killing somebody just never crossed my mind.
No, not once.
No,
not once.
It still hasn't, for that matter. Well, maybe not. But.
Once or twice.
Yeah, once or twice. Once or twice, but adulthood's different, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when you're a teenager, there's so much. You got no problems. Right?
Yeah.
Everything's
definitely
great.
didn't have that kind of problems.
No, not that kind of problem. No, I mean, I don't think she had that kind of problem. I mean, it sounded her life was pretty great.
My wife won't watch it because there's teenagers involved, and it's just too upsetting for her.
Yeah,
so I haven't.
It is rough. It's absolutely
pretty upsetting.
Yeah.
It was I woke up and she was watching it, and so I just watched it, and then it was so upsetting that we actually found the second documentary they had on it on Hulu and watched that one.
Is it just as bad?
No, the one on Hulu sucked. Don't watch that one. It was awful because it was like one of those, like, it wasn't like it's a standalone. they had it as part of like a show, kind of like a podcast, kind of. You know how they have the podcasts that are like, you know, very specific, like murdering wives in Texas.
Yeah.
And so then like it's
only-
like every
Only murders in the building.
well, yeah, but like real documentaries where they're talking about it. But anyways, so this one was like it was like Mean Girls Killers or something like that. And so
Yeah, I
they
know what
tried to
you're
like
talking about.
fit the thing into the theme of the show, and it was kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah. So watch the other. I don't even know what the other streaming service was that had the first one.
Netflix.
Yeah. It's
Okay. Yeah, watch it on Netflix if you're gonna watch it.
We watched a documentary. It's in the Untold series, also on Netflix.
Yeah.
Pretty good series. A lot of
Untold
sports.
is
Yeah,
awesome.
they are really good.
Yeah. So this one, it's the newest one, and this is from where my wife is from in New Jersey. This happened in Northwest Jersey. It was a horse trainer, dressage. You know what that
Yeah.
is? The Olympic horse dancing thing. So a dressage horse trainer. He was an Olympian competing in the Olympics, and a crazy person that he trained. And I think they were both kind of crazy, but she drove
I think
him.
they were all crazy.
Yeah, she drove him nuts though, for sure. But
I watched it. That was the one Untold I didn't really like.
I don't.
It was because
I
of the
didn't-
people, to be honest.
I didn't like the outcome, but yeah, I didn't like the way that they did the documentary because they didn't really show like what led up to it and why he didn't just kick her out, and they didn't go like step by step with it.
Yeah.
They kind of just filled in a lot of that stuff at the end.
Yeah.
Which my wife and I kept saying, like, why doesn't he just tell her to leave?
Yeah, exactly. Or vice versa. Why doesn't she tell him to
Why
leave?
doesn't she just leave?
Yeah.
You know, so they just didn't do a really good job of explaining that in the documentary. But what I found funny was, you know, he walks up and shoots her in the chest twice. And then they didn't explain that why he was on the ground all beaten up and bloody when the cops got there, unconscious.
So I'm saying it was the one I didn't like. I've watched them all.
But they got him. His lawyers they're really good lawyers. They got him off on not guilty by reason of insanity.
Yeah.
So he spent a year in a mental institution and was set free.
Yeah.
And he did this whole like grew his hair out funny and he was making all these
like it was
weird
obvious.
faces
Yeah.
in court. Like it was such obvious theater, and he was not a good actor. It was just awful. But I guess the jury bought it. I wouldn't have voted for it. That's for sure. I'd have locked that guy up. He shot somebody, and the prosecutor kept saying it, but also the prosecutor looked like he was like 25 and out of his league, and he kept saying it. It's
Apparently
not
he
okay.
was.
It's not okay to shoot someone. Yeah, you're right about that, but you didn't do a good job of convincing the jury, apparently. And other than that, we
I'd be so mad if I was in court and the lawyer just started stating facts like this crime is against the law.
yeah, exactly. That's kind of how it came off. He
Shooting
wasn't
someone
passionate.
is
Like,
bad.
Yeah, he didn't make like a good charismatic argument. He's like, it's just not okay to do that. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I
It's
agree,
not
buddy.
nice. I'm like, okay, man, we've got to come up with a story here.
Other than that, I watched my wife's son graduate college, Knoxville,
Congrats.
Tennessee. Yeah, that was amazing. He's got
It's
a
a good school
forestry.
to graduate from.
Yeah, he's got a forestry degree. He's going to go fight wildfires in California this summer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think, he's fresh out of college, so I don't think he's actually going to be a smoke jumper, which was the running gag all weekend, making his mom nervous and scared.
No, they're gonna
scared
have
to
him
death.
like doing prevention, like picking up pine needles in the woods.
Exactly. Yeah, he's going to be mostly doing prevention, maybe digging some trenches. But definitely, I don't think he's going to be in the middle of it. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But the upside for me is that we are going to Lake Tahoe this summer to visit him.
Nice.
So
that's
I've
awesome.
never been. I'm pretty excited.
Y'all better get to Yosemite if you haven't been there.
That's really
I have
cool.
not.
It's
No,
the
I've
most
not done a
amazing-
lot of stuff out west.
It's one of the
Everything
most amazing trips I've
In
I've
that
gone on.
area is so cool.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth doing it.
Yosemite National Park. Just find a way to go. Just do it.
Right on.
Grand Canyon's crazy if you can make it down there.
Yeah.
I've been to Grand Canyon a few times. I went
Mount
to
Rushmore,
Arizona
you're
State.
old, so maybe you would like it. I went when I was like 12 or 13, and I'm going to be honest, after like 2 minutes, I was like, all right, what do we do now?
It does seem like a long way to get there.
Yeah. Like is it Devil's Peak, I think it is. I don't know, there's a rock that's like an hour from there, way cooler.
Mount Rushmore is kind of one of those things like you go and you're like, oh, how'd they do that? Okay.
But
yeah,
they did have an ice cream shop, and I still perfectly remember it was the best butter pecan praline I've ever had.
You're also 12 though, so
I still remember it. I'm 34 now, and I still remember it.
But I'm just saying, like, it's probably in your best interest to never have that again because it'll just ruin it for you.
Yeah,
I've done that.
That's a good point.
There's like things I remember vividly from my childhood, and I'm like, this was the best thing ever. Like, I've never had anything this good again. And then I go and I try it, and I'm like, man, like kid taste buds were just different.
Yeah, that happened to me with Fuddruckers. Do you know what that burger place is?
Yeah.
As a kid, there was nothing more exciting than going to Fuddruckers. I get this. To me, it was a giant burger because I was a little guy, and I get to put whatever I want on it and as many pickles as I want. I love pickles. I only ever get 2 on my burger. I want 10. And that was the most exciting thing. And it was the best burger in the world. And when I moved to DC, I lived in Silver Spring, and there was a Fuddruckers right there. And I went as an adult, and it was an entirely different experience.
I think they're closed now, so I don't even think that was your fault. I think they just fell off.
Yeah, that could be it too.
Like the workers did not, they didn't want to be there at all. And I definitely saw all the behind the scenes crappiness that was going on.
Just fights in the kitchen. Just fist fights.
Yeah. Yeah. She's taking my order. She's like, y'all shut up back there. Okay. What did you want now?
The worst thing you can do in a friendship is like talk something up that's extremely hard to get. And just keep talking it up. Something you haven't had in a long time. You're just talking it up. And it's really hard to get. But you finally get there and you get it. And they're looking at you like, what the hell did you take me here for? and you've got to be like, I'm sorry, man. It was so much better than this. I don't know what happened.
Or you just double down and you call them crazy. What do you mean? You don't like this? That did work out well for me one time. Actually, I took the wife on a cheesesteak tour of Philadelphia, basically. We went up there for a Phillies game, and we were up there for a weekend. And I, saw some friends and family, and every meal we had, I insisted was a different cheesesteak place. And at the end, we were able to compare notes, and she picked my favorite places. Her favorite. It's actually no longer in business. It was Steve's Prince of Steaks in Center City.
So you two were the minority.
Yeah, so apparently.
Apparently so, yeah. But they were the best.
That was just a joke.
No, I know. That was a good one. All right, that's all I got. Anything from you, Austin? Anything?
I have a question about cheesesteak. So if I go to Philly, I don't like onions, mushrooms, peppers. Are they going to kill me for saying I don't want that stuff on it?
Nope, you're good.
All right,
you don't have to have that stuff on it. First of all, mushrooms and peppers only go on a cheesesteak if you ask for it specifically. Or if you order a cheesesteak special, it comes with red sauce, marinara, onions, peppers, and mushrooms, and sometimes black olives. That's a cheesesteak special. All right. Otherwise, your cheesesteak comes with bread, steak, cheese.
That's what I'm
Otherwise, they will usually ask you if you want fried onions. Just say no.
Okay.
You don't have to have it.
Okay.
It's no problem. And you can have whatever cheese you want, by the way, and nobody's going to give you a hard time for it.
No, I don't care the cheese.
I'll tell you what. What's up with
a lot of people don't
Philly
like
getting
whiz.
all fancy with the bread now?
What do you mean?
Like they've started all the new best cheesesteak places are starting to use much fancier bread than they used to.
You mean in Texas?
No, in Philly.
Oh, in Philly? Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, just a good Italian hard roll is all I know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a place in South Jersey called Gaetano's that's pretty famous that uses a seeded one. But other than that, I don't know about any fancy cheesesteak.
I've been seeing like weird cuts on the bread and all kinds of like it just looks fancy. I'm like, okay, yeah, I mean, not bad. It's still bread, but
I don't know.
I mean, you can't ruin bread. You can't ruin white rice, right? It's two good things.
Okay,
bread is good.
There's a Geno's, like the original Geno's in South Philly.
Yeah.
There's a Geno's in Inner Harbor in Baltimore now. I've yet to be there, but I'm pretty excited.
Cool.
It'll probably be Saturday before we're going to an O's game. So before that.
Cool.
All right. Anything else, guys?
That's it.
No.
All right. It's been the front office. Let's listen to Jamie.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the front office. The lights are low, the boards are lit, and the Dynasty clock is ticking. From the heart of the startup draft to the championship throne, one crew rules the long game. Give it up for the undisputed architects of empire, Dynasty!